a lot of practices to help let go of a lot of our tensions and our cooped up frustrations that we might be having at the moment. So hope you have a nice little space around you, and so you can flick your arms around and go for a little walk on your hands and your knees like an elephant. And yeah, hope you enjoy. So we'll start this class by just laying down in Shavasana, making sure that you do feel nice and comfortable and warm and toasty. So laying down in Shavasana, with your arms slightly apart from your body, toes gently falling out to the sides, and tucking the chin slightly in to straighten and lengthen the spine. Starting to feel into your body in contact with the floor, working towards gently melting down into this space, allowing yourself to completely let go. Starting to move the breath into the belly, expanding this space, and then allow it to sink back down towards your spine. You may even like to exhale out of your mouth. Starting to move into this space of letting go and relaxation. And then when you're ready, starting the practice of the yogic breath. So breathing deeply into your lower lung, into the space of your belly button, and allowing the space to rise up towards the sky. And then gently fall back down towards your spine. And the full practice involves allowing this to be our first stage, so we breathe into the space of our belly button and then roll the breath up into the rib cage, allowing this space to expand. And then all the way up into the chest and the upper chest, rolling the breath all the way to the collarbones. And then allowing the breath to roll back down, first in the lower lung, allowing our belly button to sink back down towards the spine. Then the mid lung, and then the upper lung. So allowing the breath to roll in and up, and out and down, like a big beautiful wave surging through your body and your lungs. And exhaling it back out. Softly letting go. If you're not too familiar with this practice of breathing deeply and the inhaling, expanding the lungs, you might like to just focus on that first stage where we breathe into the space of the lower lung, expand it up towards the ceiling, and then release it back down towards the spine. Otherwise, we breathe into this space and then roll the breath up through the rib cage to the chest, up into the upper chest, and then release it back down from the lower lung, around the belly button, the mid lung of the ribs, and the upper lung of the chest. Focusing on really letting go in your exhalation. Doing this practice 3 more times, 3 more rounds of the yogic breath. And then when you've finished your 3rd round, coming back to your natural spontaneous breath. Taking this time to just check in with how you're feeling on a physical level, a mental level, on your emotional level, and your energetic level. Just checking into all 4 parts of this, of yourself. And maybe checking in as well if there's something you'd like to release or let go. And then when you're ready, bending both of your knees. And then placing your right leg down onto the floor, keeping your left knee bent. And then grabbing hold of your left knee with your right hand and taking it over to the right side of your body as you extend the left arm out to the side, coming into the universal spinal twist, also known in Sanskrit as Shava Udaraka Shanasana. It's important to aim to keep your shoulder and your arm in contact with the floor and just bring your knee to where it's comfortable for you to do so. Focusing on the exhalation, letting go of any tension that you don't need to be holding right now. And then coming back to the center. Extending down your left leg onto the floor and then taking hold of your knee with your left hand, drawing it over to the left side of the body as you extend your right arm out to the side, looking over to that hand. And bringing in your breath nice and deep. And then drawing that knee back to the center. And then coming up to a comfortable seated position, facing the front. So we're going to start today with a Pranayama practice, which is a breathing practice called Pranayama. And that translates to the humming bee's breath. And it's a really beautiful practice to help release mental tension and any frustrations and those sort of things. So in this practice, we take our thumbs and we place them into the lobes of our ears to block off any sound. You can keep your hands like this around your head, or you can actually just place your thumb into that part of your ear and then use your hands a little bit like windscreen wipers and just allow them to hover in front of the eyes so that it blocks out a bit of the light and helps to deepen this practice. So I'll just demonstrate first what we're going to do if you're not familiar with the practice. So I'm taking my thumbs into my ears and I'm placing my hands over. I'm going to inhale, and then as I exhale, I'm going to make the sound of the humming bee with my mouth closed. Now what you can hear is probably different from what I can hear, because when you block off those earlobes, it sounds a lot more like a humming bee. So we're going to practice 10 rounds of this, and you won't really be able to hear what I'm doing or saying, so just when you're finished, or even just keep a little eye out to see if we're on the same 10 rounds. But if you do it as you're exhaling, we should finish at the same spot of 10 rounds. Okay? So taking your hands or your thumbs into your ears, blocking off the sound, and then repeating this 10 times. Take a nice deep breath in to start. So allowing your breath to come back to its natural state. Keeping the eyes closed. Noticing if you feel any different within the space of your mind or your body or your energy. I'm feeling pretty clear right now. And then coming onto your knees. And we're going to do the roaring lion's pose. So similar to the humming bee breath, we're going to be making some noise. So taking your knees out to a little bit wider than your hips. And then we're going to place our hands in front of our body, pointing your fingers towards your body. And then we're going to look up towards the ceiling and look up to our eyebrow center. And then we're going to make the sound ah and stick out our tongue. So inhaling, looking up towards the ceiling, and then saying ah. So remembering to keep your eyes focused on your eyebrow center. You can keep your eyes closed. I like to keep them open in this practice. And we'll do 5 rounds. You can also kind of take your tongue around a little bit like a lizard, so it's like ah. We're getting that childlike state going. So inhaling, looking up, doing 5 rounds. I think that's 5, or maybe it's 4. We'll do one more. And then coming back, drawing your knees back together, rolling your shoulders around. And then taking your chin down towards your chest. And beginning to roll your neck around in some nice big circles. If this doesn't feel comfortable for you, you can just gently go back and forth with your neck instead. You're starting to draw the energy down from the head into our bodies. And then going back the opposite way. Doing 2 more rounds. Inhaling back and exhaling forward. And then resting with your chin down towards your chest. Just feeling into the space of your throat for a moment, around your neck. And then coming to the top of your yoga mat. And we're going to do one of my favourite practices called Julana Lohakanasana. It massages up through our whole spine and seems to really release a lot of tension for me as well. So there are 3 variations of this. It is important that you have your mat nice and comfortable, so if you need to place a blanket down, then please do so. So the first option is to sit in a comfortable cross-legged position and grasp hold of your big toes. And you're going to take your head down towards the mat and then rolling back. So as you do this, really press your spine out, so you're really forming this nice little ball. And you inhale back, taking your feet over your head, and then exhale, folding forward. So that's one option. The other option is to just take hold of your thighs or your shins and roll back. And if this really isn't comfortable on your back, then just come down onto your back and roll from side to side, massaging into the lower back. And this is just as comfortable, well, probably the most comfortable of them all. And then coming back. So coming into whichever variation you'd like to try. And then when you're ready, taking your head, if you're doing this variation, down towards the mat. And inhaling back. And exhaling back. Doing 2 more rounds. And then as you come up, rolling on to your hands and your knees. And then sitting back down onto your buttocks. Because I've jumped ahead. So coming back onto your buttocks. And we're going to do the boat pose, Nawaka Sanchalanasana, which is a really effective practice in releasing energy, tension and blockages in our lower back. So in this one, we wrap our fingers around our thumb, and then we're going to fold forward from our hips, taking our hands towards our feet, and then rowing our arms back along the sides of our legs, inhaling the hands up and over the head, and then exhaling, folding forward. So you're aiming to keep your toes nice and engaged, pointing up towards the ceiling, and then they can fold forward to help you kind of maintain that motion. Your legs may hover off the ground a little bit, that's okay. And you're aiming to engage your abdominal muscles as you lean back, as though you're really rowing a boat. Exhaling, folding forward, and inhaling back. And perhaps the faster you go, the more energy will be broken up and released. And then going back the opposite way, sliding your hands along your legs, inhaling up, and then exhaling the hands back along your legs. Doing this one more time. And then resting your hands back down beside your body. Closing down the eyes and taking your awareness into your lower back. Maybe your hamstrings as well. Noticing any sudden changes in these spaces. And then coming up onto your hands and your knees. And then coming into Majariasana, cat-cow pose. We're going to vary it up a little bit by increasing the speed. So if that doesn't feel right, you're more than welcome to stick with the normal speed. Otherwise, come along with me, inhaling, looking up towards the ceiling, and exhaling your back up towards the ceiling. So I'd like you to kind of think of your breathing as a bit of a pump. So it's continuing at your own pace. Doing 2 more of these. And then slowing it down. And then pressing back into downward facing dog. Beginning to gently walk into the backs of your legs, picking up one heel at a time. And then from here, we're going to go into the practice of Ganesh Chalanasana. So staying in that position, I'm just going to tuck my singlet in. You may not be able to see me the whole time doing this, but in this practice, we take one foot forward and the same side of the body of that hand goes forward. So taking your right foot forward and then your right hand forward. Your left foot forward and then your left hand forward. Right, right, left, left, right, left, left. I'm going to do a few laps of this space. This is actually a yoga practice. I'm questioning the validity right now. Really helps to stretch and strengthen your hamstrings and get a bit of mental tension out as well. I used to have to do this as part of my training. I'd be walking around the kitchen bench and Mum would come out and say, "What are you doing?" And then coming back to your mats and resting down in Shavasana. Taking a nice deep breath in and then letting go. And then while we're down in this position, go into the boat pose, in which we draw our hands slightly off the floor, and at the same time we lift our feet off the floor, so about 15 centimeters off, holding that and then gently releasing back down. We'll do this one more time like this, engaging into our core, lifting our legs and our arms, back of our body slightly off, and then gently releasing back down. Now this time, on the third round, we're going to tense our whole body and hold for 5 seconds if it's possible, and then hopefully you've still got a nice comfortable mat or blanket underneath you, and then just allow your body to drop down. Obviously don't do that if that's not good for your back. So inhaling up, holding, tensing all your muscles, and then relaxing back down. And then coming back up to a seated position. And then coming up to standing. So taking your feet out nice and wide, back to the width of your yoga mat. And then we'll come into a dynamic trikonasana. So we take our hands up to shoulder height. And I'll just demonstrate first if you aren't familiar with this practice. So we take, say, our right hand down to our left foot, looking up towards our left hand. Inhale back to the center, and then take our left hand over to the right foot, looking up towards our right hand. And inhale back, and then repeating it as dynamically as you would like. If you need more of a stretch, you can place your hand down on the outside of that foot you're taking your hand down to, and that'll increase the stretch in your calf muscles. This practice helps to tone your waist, stretching into the backs of your legs. Doing this one more time on each side. And coming back to the center. Let's grab my scrunchie. And then taking your feet back out to about the width of your yoga mat. And then interlacing your fingers behind the back of your body and coming into Dvikonasana, so folding forward from the hips. And then taking your hands up towards the ceiling, stretching into your chest. And gently bending the knees and coming back up. Now the next practice we're going to be doing is called Uttita Lolasan, where we inhale and then exhale down, letting it all go. But if you do have high or low blood pressure and that will not sit right in your body, just tone it down. So you might just like to inhale the hands up a bit and go okay, so play around with what is right for you. You know your body and make sure that you listen to it. So taking your feet out to that, you'll look to do yoga mat, and then I'll just demonstrate this first. So we inhale the hands up and allow our hands to just drop down, and then we exhale, and as we do that, we repeat we kind of go so really letting out any of that stagnant air in our lungs, as well as any stagnant mental energy too. So we're inhaling the hands up and then back up. You can also just allow yourself to kind of hang here, really let it all out, and then inhale back up. So inhaling, taking a nice big deep breath, and then exhaling. Inhaling up. Letting yourself just hang. Repeating this 5 more times if you can. Making this your last one. And then coming back to center, so bringing your feet back together, rolling your shoulders around. And just standing tall for a moment, grounding your feet back down into the earth. Noticing if you feel a little lighter. Just noticing whatever you feel. Take a nice deep breath in. And letting go. Coming back into our Dvikonasana pose, interlacing the fingers behind the back of the body and then folding forward from the hips. Starting to slow it back down. And bending softly into the knees, coming back up to standing. And then coming back to the front of your yoga mat. We're going to practice the C salutation, or called the fluid C salutation. So it's a bit of a variation of what you may know as the C salutation. It's really important in this practice to keep your hands really fluid. So even practice now just taking your hands through space and imagining like they are the kelp of the sea, or the seaweed just floating through space. This will help to relax through your arms and into your heart space as well as into the lungs. So allow your breathing to be nice and fluid. As though you're at the ocean, really breathing in that salt air. The other thing to keep in mind is focus on your exhalation and allow it to come out of your mouth for that really soothing sensation that occurs when you do this in your nervous system. So just breathing in now and exhaling out of the mouth. Joining in both of your hands, inhaling them up, and then exhale, pressing your hands down towards your hips as you exhale out of your mouth. Inhaling to the heart, exhaling out. And see that exhalation actually sounds like the sound of the ocean when it's breathing in. Okay, so remembering to focus on those fluid arms and the exhalation of the breath. So I can actually keep face. Actually, no, I will face this way. So just start by bringing your hands to your heart space. Focusing on the breath coming in and out. Allowing your hands to float away from the heart. As you inhale, they move outwards. As you exhale, drawing your hands back in. Inhaling, broadening. Exhaling in. And then softly allowing your hands to come back down towards your hips. And then inhaling the hands up towards the ceiling. Your palms should be nice and fluid like this. So inhaling them up. And then exhaling the hands down towards the mat. But rather than touching the mat, taking your hands out to the sides. And then inhaling the hand to your heart space as you flatten your back. And then exhaling them back down to the sides. Inhaling to the heart space, flat back. And then as you exhale, taking your right foot back. And as you do this, pressing forward with your hands. So you're in a high lunge, so engaging those toes into the floor like you're about to push off. And then with your hands, pressing them forward. And as you do this, really focus on that exhalation. And then inhaling the hands up around the body. As you do this, flattening the back foot down and folding over the front leg, taking the hands out to the sides as you exhale out. Inhaling, flat back, hands to the heart. And then exhaling, stepping onto that front left leg, balancing through that back raised leg, and opening your hands out to the side like you're flying like a seagull. And then inhaling the hands to the heart space as you draw both of your feet together. Now this bit I find can often really stretch or not feel good in my hamstrings. So sometimes, and if my lower back's not feeling too strong, so from here, you can still practice this, but then bring your hands back down to the floor and then draw your right foot forward. And then hands to the heart space, and then hands out to the side as you exhale. Bending the knees as you inhale, keeping your palms nice and soft. Inhaling them over your body like you're draping some curtain over yourself, the sheets over your bed. And then inhaling your hands back down to your heart space and down. So going on to the opposite side now. So inhaling the hands up above the body. Exhaling, folding forward, hands out to the side. Inhaling, hands to the heart space. Exhaling, stepping back with your left foot as you press forward with your hands. Inhale, hands rise around your body. Exhaling, flattening that back foot down as you fold forward, hands out to the side. Inhaling, hands to the heart space, flat back. Exhaling, flying. Feet back together, inhaling, hands to the heart space, exhaling out to the side. Inhaling, hands over the body, bending the knees, inhaling up. And then exhaling back down, hands out to the side. Inhaling, hands to the heart space. Exhaling, stepping back with your right foot, pressing forward with your hands. Inhaling, hands around your body. Flattening that back foot down as you fold forward, hands out to the side. Inhaling, hands to the heart. Exhaling, fly. Inhaling, hands to the heart. Exhaling out to the side. Inhaling, bending the knees, draping your hands over your body. And then exhaling, hands down to your heart. Inhaling the hands up and over the body. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, hands to the heart. Exhale, stepping back with your left. Coming up onto that toenail so it's really active. Exhale, pressing forward. Inhale, hands around the body. Back foot plants down as you fold over. Hands to the heart space. Exhaling, fly. Inhale, hands to the heart space. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling up. Exhaling back down to your heart space. So we'll do this one more round. Inhaling up. Soft hands. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale to the heart. Exhale, stepping back with your right foot, pressing forward. Anything you want to let go of, pressing it away. Any negativity. Inhaling, hands up around the body. Whoop. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale to the heart. Exhaling, flying. Inhale to the heart. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling, draping your hands over the body. Exhaling, folding back down, hands out to the side. Inhale to the heart. Exhale, stepping back with your left foot as you press forward. Inhale, hands around the body. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhale to the heart. Exhaling, flying. Inhale to the heart. Exhaling, folding forward. Inhaling up, soft hands. Exhaling, hands back down to your heart space and resting there for a moment. Allowing your breath to come back to its natural state. Seeing if you can feel into a more soothed part of your nervous system, of your body. Doing 5 more breaths in this position. Allowing your breath to come out of your mouth as you exhale. Visualizing yourself on that beautiful sandy beach, watching the waves come in and go out. Feeling your connection to that part of yourself. That soft and watery, supple part. And then releasing your hands back down and coming to sit back down onto your left. Taking your right leg out to the side and drawing your left foot into your right inner thigh. Coming into a beautiful side stretch of Janu Shirshasana. And then taking your right hand down that right leg. To get a little bit more of a stretch, you can take that elbow into the inside of that leg. Grasp hold of the outer edge of the right foot or the big toe. Now, you may even be here and that might be enough for you. That is fine. Just making sure that you take your left hand to your hip and really open through the chest at the same time. So if you are down towards your foot, you may like to take your hand up and over the body, making sure that you're not collapsing through the chest but opening through. If you are flexible enough, you may have that hand down towards your foot. I'm feeling really tight in that lower part of my back, so this is where I'll stay. Breathing into those left side ribs. I'd like to close down your eyes. And then inhaling the hand back up. I feel the need to come onto my left knee and stretch up and over. That's to counter that stretch straight away. And then drawing your right leg into your left inner thigh. If anyone's noticing, I just ripped my leggings. So just don't worry about that. And then we take our our left hand down to the left foot. Again, you may be here, or you may be needing a bit more of a stretch by taking that elbow into the inner left leg and grasping hold of the outer foot. Making sure that you're opening up through your chest. And if you'd like, taking that right hand up and over the body. Allowing that right side of your ribs, your lungs to breathe. And then inhaling that hand back to the side. And you may like to come onto that right knee and just stretch over the body. And then come back down. And then taking both of your legs out in front of you. And just gently bringing your buttocks out from under you, coming onto the sitting bones, and then folding forward from the hips. Just taking a moment to close down. Allowing all parts to relax that you can. And slowly coming back up. And for our final position, you may like to lay in Shavasana, or even with your legs up against the wall, really letting go. I'm going to come down into Shavasana. So get yourself nice and comfortable. Making sure that you keep your knees bent if you need, if that's not comfortable, on your lower back. You can even stack your knees in towards each other. And really start to let go. Taking some nice big deep breaths into your abdomen and then exhaling, allowing your whole body to melt down into the floor. Completely letting go. Releasing the tension, any tension in your forehead and eyebrow center, into your temples, into your jaw, allowing your jaw to go from side to side if you need. Releasing into the shoulders, into the chest, the whole back, lower back, into the hips and the inner thighs, into your knees and your shins, your calf muscles, into your ankles and the feet. Completely letting go. I invite you to stay here as long as you need. It can be far beyond the duration of this video if that is what you feel you need right now, or feel that you want. Just keep focusing on releasing and relaxing your whole body, dementia, letting go. Thank you all for joining me in today's class. Remember, you can keep laying there if you like. Hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or evening wherever you are in the world. Namaste.